welcome to Plano's Political Pitbull Podcast. I am Esther.
And I'm Ruth.
And today we are going to continue our conversation about the bond election for 2025. So at the December 9th, 2024 City Council meeting, they had the second public hearing on the bond proposals. And this time they spoke on the facilities. For the facilities, they are asking for a $306,856,000 bond. Now, they're not all going to spend that in one place. $243 million plus of that is going to public safety buildings, specifically a new police headquarters and 911 center for a whopping $155,158,000. Now, the current police headquarters was built in 1973, and they are out of room. So they want to build a new one on Parker and Alma. Originally, they were planning on renovating it, but the police chief thought it would be better just to build an entirely new building instead of building onto it and renovating the existing one.
Why?
Well, he claims that in the long run, it will be cheaper because they feel like they'll just have to redo it again in another 50 years. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I will say this, they're probably out of room because we have grown as a city, and this is a problem with having your population continuing to increase because you are building all of these freaking apartments, right? We need more police. And we also need more fire stations, specifically a new fire station.
For some reason, we don't need more schools.
Yeah, I know, that's kind of strange. Interestingly enough, I will, just a little side note on that. So PISD wanted a zoning change for a vocational school. Now, I don't know why they couldn't just use one of the schools that they're going to be emptying and make that their trade vocational school. Instead, they're building an entirely new building for that. A little side note there. Very strange. But we digress. Anyway, so new fire station, $21,705,000 for that. Now, what the fire chief said was that they're getting a lot of calls increased calls in a certain area, and it's kind of an area that's in between two fire stations that are existing. So they kind of like share. So they figured it would make sense if we put in a new fire station for that area. Well, I could see that makes sense, you know. But again, when you increase your population, you now need another fire station, which is going to need firefighters and equipment. So, which is going to need maintenance on that equipment. So you can see why I would be thinking twice before approving any more large apartment buildings.
You don't understand, Mom. They only think one step at a time. More people equals more tax dollars, but then they have to use those, but then they don't think about, then they have to use those tax dollars to accommodate the increased population.
Mm-hmm.
But I reiterate, somehow we don't need another school. We need another police station, we need another fire station, but we don't need another school.
Now we're actually losing schools. It's
so weird.
Very weird. Okay. Land acquisition and design of fire station number 3, $4,750,000, because you've got to buy land to build the station on. And then there's a reno and additions to fire station number 8 for a whopping $11,032,000. They also want a new police training center for $51 million. At least that one's a nice round number.
Still a lot.
I'm a little, why does a city need its own training center? I don't.
For the police of that city, obviously.
Yeah, not every city would have its own training center. How many police does one city have to require its own training center?
It's because Texans don't like to drive far at all.
I don't know.
I can only give you so many answers.
I just can't see a small town.
We're not that small.
No, we're not.
We're not that small at all.
Maybe it's if you have a certain number of police officers, you got to have your own training center. I don't know. The municipal facilities also have a long list of things that they want. So $58,261,000, and underneath that umbrella, we have the Parkway Services and Fleet for $54,331,000. So basically, the city of Plano has its own trucks and vehicles for various things, all right? And they need to be stored somewhere. And this is where they would be stored. And sometimes they need to have repairs there. So they basically want a new building. Okay? That's where
Another new building?
Another new building, yes. For some reason, we can't just reno our existing buildings. We have to build entirely new ones.
Maybe they're worried they're going to find problems in the existing buildings, which then is going to cost more money to fix. So they're like, let's just build a new one.
Okay.
I'm literally just throwing ideas at the wall here.
So one thing they did say, and I will agree. So the fire engines, they've gotten a lot bigger over the years. Part of the reno of that fire station is the fire trucks are now bigger than they used to be. And they no longer fit inside the fire station.
Wait, how that happened?
I don't know. I don't know why they got bigger. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I don't know why you would make a fire. One would think that fire stations are all kind of similar. Oh, and so are fire trucks. So I'm not quite sure why all of a sudden designers of fire trucks would say, let's make them bigger.
So they can't fit in the fire station.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to think about that part.
Right. So when a fire truck has to go get maintenance, all right, the building where it would get maintenance, the ladder can't go all the way up now. So Either they'd have to literally raise the roof of the Fleet building or build a new one.
I
So,
wonder what the purpose of making it bigger was.
I don't know. Taller, I don't know. I don't know. This is not my area of expertise, okay?
You just know that they made it bigger.
That's what they said. They said that the ladders are now no longer can
Okay, so
reach the ceiling.
what do they want to do?
So that's where they have to build a new building to, so they can, when a fire truck comes in to be fitted, maintained, or repaired, they can fit it into the repair shop. Yeah.
What does that have to do with the ladder situation?
Well, maybe if the ladder needs fixing, or you've got to inspect it. I don't know.
But they can't reach it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Believe me, I'm trying to figure this out, but okay. So of course, they also need land acquisition and design for the new facilities maintenance center, and that's going to cost over $3 million, almost $4 million. Right, here's something a little easier.
Okay.
Okay. Something maybe in our wheelhouse. Libraries.
Yeah.
Okay. The libraries want $4,950,000.
That's more than the fire truck thing.
Yeah, actually, that is more than the land acquisition and for the maintenance center.
What are they doing in the library?
So they want to redo 3 libraries. I think this is called Sheplin at $1,870,000. I'm sorry, $1,870,000. They want to redo Parr Library, which I thought they already redid it.
They want to redo it.
They want to because that library has changed. We've lived in Plano for over a decade now, and that library has changed since we first moved here.
It has.
So that renovation, that's the cheapest of the 3. That's only going to be $1,060,000.
Well, if it's already changed, like you said, then I'm not sure what's changed, but I don't know. I don't go there. But if it's already been changed, then maybe they don't need to change that much with this one, so that's why it's cheaper of the 3.
I don't know, maybe. And Haggard Library's reno is going to be $2,020,000.
Wow.
That's
I
going
guess
to be the largest.
that one needs a real renovation.
I guess so. Maybe that one didn't get renoed for quite a while. The woman said that they need to paint and change fixtures in I don't know which one, but she did mention painting and changing fixtures. Seems like an awful lot of money to paint and change fixtures, but okay. I don't know. I'm skeptical.
Well, you know how they spend money.
So, back to the police headquarters, I forgot to mention. So the police headquarters is so small that they have different departments in different areas of the city. All right, spread out. So 911 dispatch, they're in the basement of the city hall. And then the special victims unit. Special victims unit. That's sex crimes.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
They are also not currently at police headquarters. And so is the narcotics division. They're also somewhere else in the city. So the what the chief wants to do is he wants to build this new building so that he can bring everybody under one roof.
Okay.
All right, I can see that. Of course, well,
I mean, it's understandable.
I don't know. I can see pros and cons for both ways. Having the departments kind of spread out, you're getting all four corners of the city. So that's could be a benefit. On the other hand, not being under one roof, you've got, your chief is probably at headquarters. If he wants to talk with or have a meeting with the head of the SV unit, then the SV unit's got to come over. So
It's more difficult.
There's pros and cons to either way. All right.
Going back to the libraries, I wonder if we'd be able to tell what they changed.
So I noticed that Par Library, the library seemed brighter from the previous, the first reno. It was brighter.
That could literally just be that they changed out some light bulbs.
Also, they moved the desk where the librarian is and where you return books.
Oh, such a big change.
Computers were in a different spot. It seemed like they...
And this required like $1 million?
I don't know.
That just sounds like
redo cost.
That just sounds like you moved around furniture.
I don't know when that redo even happened. I'll be honest. I only go to a library to vote. I haven't been there in quite a while. So when I go vote over at Par Library sometimes, I just go, I don't even have to go into the actual library. Because the rooms where you go vote is actually like off the lobby.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They also want to increase their buy more books.
What is renovating the library going to help with that? What are they going to...
No. It's just, that whole thing falls under expanding their collections.
Oh.
In each library.
Okay. Oh, buying more books for the library. Okay.
Yes, buying more books for the library.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought you meant that they wanted to increase the amount of people renting out books.
I don't know. They now have what I do. What I like to do is I like to do the Kindle. They now have ebooks available, and that's great because you don't have to remember to return those.
Yeah, there's actually a thing that I know about where if you get a library card to any library in your area, or even not in your area, you could go to like several different libraries, and through this app you can borrow books digitally, like an ebook. With your library card. You don't have to go in.
Yeah, I like that because you don't have to remember to return them.
It's very helpful when your student forgets their book.
Okay, yes, that is good. Okay, no more oops. I left my textbook at home. Oh, no problem.
Well, no, I wasn't talking about textbook. I mean, literature book.
Oh, literature books. Okay. Some notes of interest during this presentation that they made. So from 2014 to 2023, we saw a 50% increase in emergency calls. Fire stations 1 and 2 are the busiest. Okay, and so the new fire station is going to go in between fire stations 1 and 2. And it's going to be Fire Station 14, which is going to be very confusing that Fire Station 1 and 2 is going to be
It's going to be 114.2.
The bread of the sandwich in the middle is going to be 14.
Yeah, so 114.2. Or if you're going the other way, 214.1.
Yeah. Well, I can understand why they would not want to change all the names of each fire station.
That would be that'd be tedious.
Mhm.
2, that'd be more money.
Yes. Yeah. Well, no. Just keep it as is, guys. All right. So another problem when you increase your population. Okay. Oh, yes. So Fire Station 8, that's the one. It's 30 years old, and they want more bays for the fire trucks. Okay. And Fire Station 3 is 48 years old. That's another one that needs to be redone.
Oh, wow.
And the current trucks don't fit in the bay. That's the one that the trucks don't fit in the bays anymore.
Well, because the fire station's old by a couple decades, and these fire trucks are probably new, and so they're different, so they're not fitting anymore. I still wonder why they made them bigger.
That's like car manufacturers deciding to make the cars so big they no longer fit in the average garage.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't put their car in their garage.
I know, but I think the fire truck needs to go into a garage. I don't think you want to leave a fire truck outside.
I mean, I don't know if a pickup truck can fit in a garage.
I think it depends on the pickup truck. But imagine if all of the cars all of a sudden became so big that nobody could get them into their garages anymore. That's what this sounds like. I'm just like, why are they? Just seems so odd to me. The fire station is not that old. It's only 48 years old, and yet the fire trucks have gotten so much bigger that they no longer fit.
I mean, 48 years sounds pretty old to me.
Okay. Not funny.
It wasn't a joke. That's over 4 decades, Mom.
I can't believe what I'm dealing with here. I also have now what the other stuff they want to do. So they want to, in the libraries. So wall coverings. I don't know why we need wall covering. I personally hate wallpaper. So if that's what she's talking about, no thank you. We could do without that. Paint and refresh finishes, and they want to redo the bathrooms. I guess the bathrooms are bad. I don't know. And study pods. They want to add more study pods.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are these kind of like, are they actually pods or are they like cubicles?
I think she means cubicles. I don't think somebody goes into a pod. But do they make them that way? Like a pod?
Well, I mean, it depends on what they're talking about exactly, because I remember in college, at the college library, they had these little, not exactly cubicles and not exactly pods, but they were like seats with plugs for your electronics that you could sit in, and they were like little square, like a box almost, and you could kind of just lay in there or sit in there any way you'd want and study in there. And sometimes they'd come with tables as well.
Maybe that's what she means. But apparently they're very popular and they want more of them. Okay? So that is the long list of facility stuff that they want to add to the bonds.
I'm sorry, hold on. Before you continue on the next topic, I'm still stuck on the 48 years thing not being old. Think about it in terms of this. Think about it in terms of cars, and think about electronics. Okay, how far electronics have come from like 10 years ago. So like 10 years ago, those electronics are old, really old. So like think about like a car 20 years ago. That's not the same.
We're talking about a building here.
We're talking about a fire truck. We're talking about a truck
No,
in relation to a building.
No comment.
In building years, it might not be that old, but in relation to a car, or in this case, a truck, I mean, it's a little old.
Well, I'm sure the inside of the trucks have probably changed dramatically. But again, why'd they have to make them taller?
I don't know.
Is the ladders taller? We need more. I don't know. I don't know. Not in my wheelhouse. You know, I'm not, like I said, not a fan of debt, not a fan of bonds. And I almost got the feeling like the department heads were like, well, if we're going to ask for stuff, we're going to ask for big stuff. So go big or go home. Yeah.
I don't understand why they can't fit any of these important renovations into the budget. Why they need to go into debt for this stuff.
Yeah, Councilman Williams has brought up that point. He said that he feels, and I'm paraphrasing, okay, I'm summing this up, but he has said a few times that he feels like a lot of the things that we spend on bonds and take out debt for should be part of the budget. Like, we know that a library is going to need to be painted every so many years, okay? Why not put that into the, let's say, the capital maintenance fund, which we have. We have a capital maintenance fund, and that fund is supposed to be there for big expenses. So why not? Put in every, 5 years, make sure that you put in enough money in there so that you can earmark something for painting a library or repairs and maintenance.
It also sounds like the whole fire truck problem and like them needing a new fire station has been a problem for, like, it's not new. It's not brand new.
I would imagine that it's probably not brand new.
So why could they not, in any time during this year or last year, have fit it in the budget somehow?
I don't know. I know that this is something that Councilman Williams is working on. He would rather have this as part of the budget every, year, and just make sure that we have money in reserves for these big ticket items that come up. Now, I will say, I don't know if anyone foresaw needing a brand new police headquarters.
No, that one they probably didn't see coming.
No,
but the other things, I mean, again, it doesn't sound like the fire truck issue is that new, and the library you can predict.
Yes, that is predictable, definitely. The headquarters police station, I think that they should have foreseen. Hey, we are growing. We are building all of this housing. We are expanding our population.
I think you're asking too much of them. One step at a time. We don't go 2 steps. We're not playing chess.
No. interestingly, they had people come in, residents came in to speak on the bonds.
Okay.
Great.
What'd they say?
Our citizens have come in to talk about the bonds. Now, of course,
Is there a but to this?
yeah. So one would think that maybe they would have heard that they're asking for the total bond package of over $700 million. That maybe somebody would have come in and said, do we really need to take out $700 million? That wasn't why they were there. No. They were not there to try and save money. No. Residents actually came in saying they wanted to add another $5 million to the package.
For what?
Oh, hold on to your hat, okay? For a visual arts building.
They do know they're paying for it, right?
I don't know what they are thinking or no. So they must have organized this because there's about 5 people came in and were asking for this visual arts building. And the complaint was, or the reason why they claim that we need a brand new visual arts building is because, one, the artists don't have anywhere to show their work.
Dallas is right there.
Well, you know what's also there? The Plano Event Center, rec centers, movie theaters. This is visual arts, so this is movies.
No, it could also just be sculptures or paintings.
I don't know. It sounded like movies because they wanted. Well, actually, it could have been.
Visual art is anything visual.
Yes, I know, but it sort of sounded like it also included movies.
But they wanted studio space viewings.
Yes.
You don't ask for studio space viewings just for movies. Or really for movies at all.
Well, yes. They wanted to also have studio space and for viewings. So
Like,
back to
studio space is like, artist, not filmmaker.
Oh, okay. Hey.
That's what I think of anyway.
Okay. Well, they called it visual arts.
Unless you mean like film studio. But
okay. Why wouldn't they just call it art then?
Because music is also art.
Oh.
And that's not visual.
Oh. Well, we do have the Plano Symphony. I believe they have their own building. But here's the thing. This lady came in from the Art Association. Apparently, Plano has its own art association. I did not know we needed an art association. We even had one. Apparently, they're the best kept secret. So she says there's no place for the artists to show their work. And I'm like, what the heck is she talking about? We have the Plano Event Center. We have the PISD has their own art center, where they have very big functions.
We have a literal art center.
Yeah, they have a literal art center.
Go there.
Where they show where they have graduations and they'll have music performances.
Well, is that just for like students in school functions? Or is that...
but I think they'll be happy to rent it out.
Maybe. You
can use a school. That would be actually very nice. You could have...
Educational.
And educational. Look, kids, today the gym is going to have all kinds of great artwork in it. Let's go see the art.
Well, maybe they want like, art shows where people buy the art.
I say again, you could still have that in a school. Okay? You could do it in a rec center. Like, we have buildings that you can house these things in.
Also, we also have Dallas, which is like what, fifth.
So if they get money from the hotel motel taxes to boost tourism, they have to show the show has to be here in Plano. But
Well,
again,
you're thinking, city benefit. I'm just thinking of the artists themselves.
yeah, that is true.
Because these are residents asking for this.
Yeah, there are residents asking for this on behalf of the artists of Plano, apparently. I mean, I was just like, we have space. What is she talking about? She says, we don't have space for the artists to show. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Spaces that she doesn't know of personally.
Apparently, she doesn't know about the Plano Event Center.
Well, I didn't know about it. It's not well advertised.
But she is the head of the Plano Arts Association.
That doesn't mean she knows about the event center.
She should know about the event center.
She should. That doesn't mean she does.
So you're going to ask you to spend $5 million for a new building? I don't know. I would think I would look first in Plano to see where you could have an event.
Maybe she's like, it's not enough. We need more.
Oh my gosh, in my head. Okay, but they also want studio space. Now, here's the thing. We have some empty school buildings coming online soon. Okay, go rent. Tell the school district, listen, don't demolish that building.
We're going to use it.
We will use it. And you know what? They could not only have their, like each artist could have their own classroom as a studio, and the gymnasium or multi-purpose room could be used as an event space to have shows.
That's a good idea.
Look at that. I just saved the city $5 million. Okay? The thing that just, when my brain was about to short circuit, was that I could not believe that you had people coming to a city government asking to go into debt for $5 million to do something that is really should be part of the private sector. Like, I would not think of going to the city and asking them to build me anything because of a hobby I have.
Well,
Okay?
that's not a hobby it's their job.
Okay, then for a job I have. Like, I don't know, it's not in my mindset that I would have to, that I should go to a government agency and ask them to go into debt to build me a studio or a event space so I could show my work. It just is so foreign to me. Like, why don't you start a GoFundMe page? Why don't you go and have what's called go to a very rich person, ask them to build you a building, and the rich person can put their name on the building. Sort of like the Perot Museum. Okay? And that's named after the Perot family who built that building. I don't get it. And
You don't get people.
I don't. I don't get people. Why in the world would you go to government for this?
Why not?
Because we don't have a money tree in the backyard of the city hall.
Look, I don't know what they're thinking. I guess they don't mind paying for this. Either that or they don't realize it. One of the two. There's no third option.
But it's not just them paying for it. You're putting a burden on the citizens now of Plano.
Yeah, including themselves.
Maybe aren't art lovers. The woman.
I don't care about that.
The woman also said that so apparently the downtown area has a small little arts district, and I've never been down there. I've never seen this art district. I probably went through it and didn't even realize. But apparently they put on certain, I guess the galleries put on certain events and stuff. And they, people ask them if they ever have like workshops or classes for the kids. And she's like, no, we just don't have the space for that. So she would like to also use this building for space for workshops and classes. And I'm like, has she heard of the rec centers in Plano? We have a few of them that hold these types of classes already. I'm so, it's like she is the head of the Arts Association of a city, and she doesn't know what is happening in her own city.
Mm-hmm.
We have that. If you want to do more of them, great. Go and you can rent out a space in the rec center. You could actually make it part of Parks and Rec. Go to Parks and Rec and say, hey, we want to do some more classes. Can you put that as part of your Parks and Rec catalog?
Did she say where she wanted these located? It might be a location thing.
She wants, I believe, they want the building to be in the Arts District of downtown Plano.
But they already have something in the Arts District that she could use?
I would have to look at a map. I don't know. I mean, she was complaining that they needed a space. Now, I know that the Masons Lodge is there. Maybe she could rent that out. That's in downtown. I just...
Maybe you're thinking too far outside the box.
Well, I'm sorry, why does it have to be in down... Do they just want this space downtown?
Maybe, it might be a location thing. Maybe it's like, oh, it's too far to drive.
The idea was to show your work. The better thing to do would be to have it at the event center where there's more parking. Because downtown Plano is horrendous to park in. You will get more people coming, especially from outside of Plano, if you're going to want any grant from the hotel motel tourism, fund. You would have to have a very large space with parking. That's the event center that apparently they want to have more events with. And the amazing thing was that nobody on council said this. Nobody on council asked any of the people who spoke, hey, have you heard of the event center? What's the problem with having a show there? If you want studio space, we've got plenty of empty retail.
Did they not think of it?
I have no idea. But the fact that they were just talking about redoing the event center and expanding it and putting a hotel there so that you could have more events. And nobody on council said, why don't you use the event center?
They're not good at advertising it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. The libertarian part of my brain does not understand what planet these people are on. And
It's not
no
even,
disrespect.
this is not even like a
Right.
libertarian thing. This is just a common sense thing. We're just thinking critically and also with some common sense of like, hey, they want to hold an event. We have an event center. Put 2 and 2 together.
That is true.
They want studio space. We have a building that's going to be empty soon that they want to tear down. They want space for making art where, we have a bunch of empty rooms, we could use those for this. It's just, you're just putting dots together.
Apparently, nobody else thought of this. I cannot be the only one to think of this. We cannot be the only 2 people in Plano who thought of this.
Technically, it was all you. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of the school thing. That was a great idea.
Thank you. Well, it's on my mind because I don't know what's going to happen to those buildings. And I can tell you, you do not want to tear them down because I guarantee you somebody somewhere will want to use them. And our population of children may go back up. I can guarantee you it will go back up. These things ebb and flow. All right? You don't want to tear down a perfectly good school building that you're just going to have to, in 10 years, find another building for a school. To me, it just makes sense. But we have so much retail space sitting empty. I mean, Councilwoman Prince was just complaining or just saying the other day that we have these empty buildings. Let's use them.
So none of the empty buildings or the about to be empty buildings that we have entered their mind when they were talking about they wanted space for studios?
No. The council didn't bring it up. The council didn't say, "Hey, there's an empty there's an empty store building that used to be Fry's sitting empty right now. I'm gonna rent that out. We've got a few empty retail spaces that nobody's taking. Want to take that? Going to use that?" Nobody said anything.
Instead, they were just one track mind. They didn't say anything?
No, they didn't say. They did not. No one commented or asked a question to any of the speakers.
So they just let them speak and then moved on.
Yeah.
So they might not even take this. We don't even know if they liked it or not.
No, we have no idea how they thought about it. But see, if you're in council, I would think that you would want to solve this. I would never, ever think of asking the city for $5 million for a building so that I can do my own personal job, which is what we're talking about here.
That is a little selfish.
You think? That's not what government is for. Okay, government is not there to give you everything your heart desires. Okay, it is not there to help you with your trade. Okay, it is there to do things that you cannot do for yourself. Okay? Okay, you know, fire, police, water, roads, the major things. Okay? Building a building for artists, not on the list. And if they put that on the list of bond proposals, they have officially lost their freaking marbles. Okay? And I mean that in the most respectful way. I'm sure these people are very nice and lovely people, and I show it, and I respect them dearly as children of God. But there is just only so much that I can hold back. Okay, when we are talking about $5 million.
So what you're saying is, I respect you, but I don't. That's what I heard anyway.
I just think that they could go the private route first. And if that doesn't work, then we can talk. Okay?
Okay. Okay, move on. It's okay. It's okay.
Too much.
It's okay. Move on. I think we've beaten this one dead.
Okay. If you do not like any of the bond proposals that you have heard, please remember that there is another public hearing for the bond proposals in January. So we'll go forth and speak. Also, council is back at City Hall. They are back at the municipal building. And the dais looks great. Great job on redoing the dais. The chairs are absolutely the same. And it looks like what they did was update the audio and visual equipment and the mics and the table that the council sits at. All for a hell of a lot of money.
Wait, they just redid mics, table, and what else?
Audio visual.
Okay, yeah, and that. And it was how much?
I think it was about $6 million in a bond. That was about...
What mics were they getting?
I don't know. I think it was...
Million apiece?
Yeah, it was a bond referendum. So they took out debt to redo the space. I thought the space was perfectly fine. It looked nice, but I don't know. They wanted to update stuff, so they updated it.
I feel like they might
They're back
have
now.
gotten overpriced things, though.
Probably. But the computer systems are very cool. Now, when they cast their votes, their picture comes up, and next to their picture, it's how they voted.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Very necessary.
We needed that. No, we didn't.
It's cool. I don't know if we needed it,
No,
but
we didn't.
it's cool.
I would have stuck with the old system, saved a couple, probably $100,000 that went around. Who knows? But that's just me. Alrighty, folks, that is a wrap for us today. If you have enjoyed our show, please like, share, and subscribe. And I did check. Angel, our pit bull, is still up for adoption.
No!
Well, it's good that at least she's still there. Breathing.
I swear, one day you're gonna announce that Angel passed and never found home.
Oh. No, they don't. I will say this. The animal shelter did say that they try their very best not to euthanize the animals. Okay? And as long as I think the animal is healthy and nothing majorly wrong with it, they try to find them a home. So,
I know,
still there, folks.
I know, but the older they get, the harder it gets to get them adopted.
I know. So, if you would like to see Angel and her cute little glasses, please go to planospoliticalpitbull.com and you can see a picture of her and you can click on Pitbulls Up for Adoption to see her bio. This is Esther.
And this is Ruth.
For Plano's Political Pitbull, signing off.